Morning, trade pros. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And it's Friday. It's Friday, March the 6th. So we have good news for you. Starting an online merchandise store. So you're going to be able to pick up some Trade Pro gear and swag. And, we have a lot of pieces that are great and a lot of them that we're unsure about. So, like this one. This is the most eccentric, bold shirt and designed by none other than yours truly. I designed the shirt, and you shouldn't be surprised it's bold. I'm a bold guy. All right. I'm getting bold and old. And so um, I want to get your vote in the comments. Would you buy this t-shirt? Should we put this on the merchandise store, or should we skip this one? We got some great stuff. Hang on, I'm still fidgeting with the camera. We got nice hats. We have good t-shirt designs that are more plain and simple. This one's a little bit more out there. Look at this little TP print. You guys feeling it or no? Yay or nay? Let me know in the comments. Would love to know that because the merchandise store is coming up soon, and there's going to be some great pieces. I'm just conflicted on this one. Mark voted no, I think. What'd you vote, Mark? He said no. Vicky, what'd you vote? Vicky just gave me the hell no. We put it on Instagram, and there's a 50-50 vote. So there's a heated debate this Friday morning over this t-shirt, whether it's crappy or not. If you guys say no, take it off and retire it. All right, so coronavirus cases this morning surpassed 100,000 for the first time. All right, of those, 55,694 people have recovered and 3,404 have died. All right, making the mortality rate somewhere around 5%. It's higher than the 3.5 because if only 55,694 have recovered, all right, you got to add that to the deaths and divide the deaths by that total number, because the people who still have it that haven't recovered, we don't know yet. They're unknown, which puts it at about 5%, a little bit higher than the official figure. But, it's still not, the odds are not that great that you're going to succumb to this or succumb to this, illness. But it is spreading like wildfire, which is the important part. France confirms 577 new cases, up 134 from yesterday. This was kind of the pace at which China lost control and Wuhan just skyrocketed in cases. All right, the 13th death in the U.S. has happened, the 12th in Washington alone, second death in U.K., 2,733 people have asked to voluntarily quarantine themselves in New York City. All right, think about how many will actually do it and how many people have already come into contact with others on their voluntary basis. All right, Slovakia is the only country in Europe without coronavirus cases so far. Singapore reports 13 new cases, largest one-day jump since it began. All right, United States total cases 234. Microsoft, Adidas, Lockheed have all confirmed that at least one employee has it. How many people has that person been in contact with? So I think at this point, you can't argue that it's spreading. It's going to spread, and it's probably going to continue to spread until some kind of solution comes out, like a vaccine. Donald Trump, by the way, just now, let me just look at the top what time it was. At 8:55 this morning, Donald Trump signed off on an $8.3 billion coronavirus response bill as expected. All right. Yesterday, he was harassed coming out of his helicopter with some questions, and reporters said Donald Trump doesn't answer the question on why there were 900,000 testing kits short of the promised 1 million. But if you see how they approach them, I wouldn't answer either. They're like the helicopters over there, they're like, Donald, why the hell don't you have 975,000 kits? Donald! It was like so far. He was just like waving. Probably couldn't even hear a helicopter propeller spinning and everything. It's kind of funny to read the news and then see what it's based on to watch the event. Sometimes it's totally different. It's hilarious. All right. So with all this spreading of coronavirus cases, a 50 basis point cut by the Federal Reserve proves to be completely useless. We talked about that in the office. We're kind of scratching our head how 50 basis point cut helps solve the coronavirus. It doesn't. All right. That's the real truth. It does help the market, though. Stock market is more concerned about going to safety than taking new risk at the moment. The proof is in the pudding. We're now below the Fed 50 basis point cut level. When I say below, about 50 handles below it. All right. And decisively lower. So we are below the level at which the Fed announced their surprise cuts, and very close to the lows of last week. All right. So I think this week's closing day, Friday's last day of the week, the question is, will we stay above those lows? If we do, we could see some buy stops in the close. If we take out the lows, look out below, because we could get a really bearish close into today's session. Be very, very careful. All right. I would not be looking to buy dips today, at least not early on in the morning. Maybe later on in the afternoon if we hold the lows. Break those lows. Do not be buying dips. Sell rallies all the way down. All right, take part in this. You're here to ride momentum. You're surfing the wave. You're not here to go against the wave. All right, so there's a big rush to safety. The rally in the safest sovereign bonds shows no signs of slowing globally. All bonds are bidding up. As bonds bid up, the yield tumbles. The 10-year Treasury in the United States briefly touched 0.694, the lowest on record ever. All right, with lowering bond yields come lower stock markets. Stock markets follow yields. Yesterday's low was 0.916. The prior day low, rather, was 0.916. In the room, we told the team if that breaks a new low on the 10-year yield, look out. It's going to ignite a sell-off in the stock market, and it did. All right, that's exactly what happened in the early afternoon. 30-year is below 1.3%, which is absolutely bonkers. If you look at the difference between the 10-year yield curve and the 2-year yield curve, it's not quite inverting. People would expect it to invert to show a recessionary sign. It's not inverting because all yields are crashing equally. Think about this. If the 30 years is at 20% and the 10 years at 10%, 30 minus, well, let's do 20%, 30, 10, 2-year. All right, 20 minus 10 is 10. If the 10 years at 10 and the 2 years at 0, 10 minus 0 is 10. So the rate at which they're dropping is equal, but yields are getting smashed at the moment as bonds are getting bid up. And I think that's going to continue. Mark just tripped and I laughed at him. What a guy. I think that's going to continue as long as the fear continues and the market sells off. At some point, there will be a good buying opportunity. Don't try to catch a falling knife. How do you catch a falling anything? Here, let me show you. If this is the knife and it's coming down, you don't try to do this. You just do this. Get out of the way. Let it drop. And then pick it up and it becomes a tool. All right. I might have damaged my pen. It's okay. We got more. This is actually a nice pen. I love this pen. Nice metal. This won't be on the store yet because we got to figure out where to warehouse it. Everything else at the moment is real-time shipping fulfillment. We don't have to design or print any of the clothes, rather. All right. Anywho, this morning we also had quite a bit of news in oil and on the jobs front. So let's get into it because it's a pretty full update. Japan, Hong Kong, China down over 2%. India down over 2% as well. Indian market's getting absolutely crushed lately. Europe at midday, London's down 3.2, Paris is down 3.8, Frankfurt's down 3.5. Sea of red across the board in Europe as well. US, Dow's down 2.5, S&P down 2.7, NASDAQ down 2.9. Big sell-off here in the early morning already. And crude oil is down 4.6% to 43.78. And in fact, we touched 43.17 on the overnight low near around 8 a.m. All right. And this is on the news based on high-level Russian officials saying that they are not going to participate in this OPEC deal, saying that their position won't change. That news came in early in the morning, which pushed us to the overnight low. And then at 8:49, that confirmed when OPEC talks have failed to result in an output reduction deal. So basically now it's officially off the table. And so with the failure to strike a deal to lower supply, all right, markets continue to the downside. Right now, it's a twofold factor in oil. It's oversupplied, and it's been oversupplied for years, and now the demand has crashed as well. So not only do you have so much of your product to sell, there aren't any customers lining up. All right, you're going to have to mark down your prices if you want to move some units. That's what's happening with oil. All right, gold is up this morning. Bitcoin's up 0.7%. Non-farm payrolls came out at 273,000 versus 175 expected. We beat on the jobs front. All right, private payrolls come out at 228 versus 206. We beat on that front as well. Plus, we beat the high end of the expected range. So super bullish report. Unemployment rate dropped to 3.5% from 3.6. That's also bullish. All right, and what else? Average hourly earnings jumped 1%, but came out at 3% on an annualized basis. All right, when you round it off. So really, what this comes down to is we had this great jobs report. Why the hell aren't the markets rallying? Here's why. All right, I think this great jobs report, a few days after the Fed makes a surprise rate cut of 50 basis points, makes it seem like the Fed made the wrong move. All right. These cuts weren't going to help the coronavirus to begin with. They're very confusing cuts. Right? I know the Fed wanted to step in and help to support the market, but I think the timing was wrong. I think this is going to go down as a policy error. We were all confused after the fact. I remember when the announcement came in at 10 a.m., I didn't have time to be confused. I was trying to catch the long. Then I thought about it afterwards. Oftentimes, when you're thinking about what something means, you should be trading it. When the trade is done, you've cashed out, you could explain why you made the money. Don't look to explain the trade before you take it because you're going to miss it. That's how these markets move. you didn't know that, newsflash. A slew of data coming out this morning. A lot at the top of the hour. Some Fed speakers at 9:20. And in the afternoon, Baker Hughes rig counts, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Fed speakers today throughout the day. All right, 9:20, 2 of them. 11:20, there's one of them. 2 p.m., 2 of them, and that's it. And 3 p.m., 7 Fed speakers. Esther George coming in as well. 3:30. So 7 Fed speakers before the market closed, and some data at the top of the hour. Expect a little bit of turbulence in this market, but I think we're going to open up the downside if we crack the lows. We cracked those last week lows. We're going to open it up. All right. On the S&P at the moment, we're trading near overnight lows. We're down almost 100 points off the close, and we're going to have to take advantage of this momentum. Expect a little pop right after the open. Buy stops are going to come out, and then we're going to see if some supply liquidity can come in, push us down. We start qualifying some short trades. Love you guys. Have a safe weekend. Be very careful. I got to tell you about this coronavirus thing. You know, I don't think the world's going to end on coronavirus because it didn't on SARS and like 30 other things that we've survived as humanity. Humans are resilient. We're going to get through this. But I will tell you this, I'm being smart about it. My friends invited me to go to this little like arcade thing, Dave and Buster's. I don't know if you guys have it where you're at. I think it's a US chain, so it might be in the US. And I was like, you know what? That sounds like the ideal place. I don't want to be touching controls that everyone else is touching. Just stay safe. I don't think you have to panic, but just avoid things if you can. Italy's shutting down a lot of public events, but their rate is much higher. In the US, I don't think there's enough tests to actually test all the cases. I think there are a lot more than the media is reporting. And at the same time, I'll tell you that it's a 5% rate. All right. I hate to sound a little bit morbid, but if 5% takes you out from a virus, it was your time to go. Do you know what I mean? Like it's 5%. It's a low. I mean, that's not a good joke. I'm sorry. People are getting hurt and damaged. Mark, what are you doing? What is that? Oh, shoot. Look at that. Let's show them that one. Do you guys like this? Mark, model it for us. This is a side profile. Here you will see a nice outer shell, the exterior to protect you in any climate conditions. As market turns, you can see the TradePro logo is crested on his left pec, which is bigger than his right for some reason. I'm just kidding. Let me know if you guys like that one too. So what do you think about this one and then what Mark just came in with? All right, love you guys. Stay safe, sanitize, and stay away from people. Um, that it sounds like a little bit of fear mongering, but just be safe. Take a precaution. You'll be happy you did. This is a good time to bunker down and do some work at home, do some analysis and trades, do some mindset development, whatever it is. I think this is an opportunity more than a fear that we should be avoiding. All right. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe. Manage your risk trade, TradePro, and be very careful today. I got a feeling today's going to be one heck of a day. All right. Love you. Take care. Ciao. TradePro's in the room. Let's get into business. I was surprised with the NFP figure as well, Aja. Thanks, Ed. Ed said nice fashion show. Mark's a good model. Eva, you don't like it at all? Ouch. I don't know if you're talking about this. Like, I like it. Look at the market dump. Holy smokes. I don't know if you guys could see this. This is the new downside. Anyways, let's get into it. Trading room. Box, I'm going to get you on here to talk about oil, and then we'll do equities. Some good opportunities. I know some people are catching trades pre-market. Good work. New day session lows. Let's get this money. Ciao, guys.